Alistair Alfonso Smythe, also known as Spider Slayer or the Ultimate Spider Slayer, is an expert in robotics, cybernetics, and is a geneticist. His bioorganic carapace grants him superhuman strength, speed, agility and durability, bird-like talons, a curved bladed weapon jutting from each shoulder, jagged blades on each forearm, and web shooters. He was one of Spider-Man's enemies and the son of Spencer Smythe.
At one point, Alistair used a wheelchair, but he later gained the ability to walk after transforming himself into what he called the Ultimate Spider Slayer. The Spider Slayers were a series of robots that sought to destroy Spider-Man.
The initial generation of Spider Slayers were created by Alistair's father, Spencer Smythe, and commissioned by J. Jonah Jameson. After Spencer failed to kill Spider-Man and ended up dying as a result of prolonged exposure to the radioactive samples involved, Alistair inherited the legacy from his father and gained a newfound hatred toward Spider-Man. His initial attempt, however, failed when, in a rather idiotic misunderstanding, he mistook Mary Jane Watson for Spider-Man. Playing along with it to give Spider-Man time to come up with a plan, Mary Jane claimed she used a super-powered suit designed by aliens, until he was defeated by the real wall crawler.
He initially worked for the Kingpin, but left in disagreement over how to deal with Spider-Man, and went solo. After being confined in an asylum, Alistair released himself and took several other inmates with him in order to construct a new series of Spider Slayers that tracked Spider-Man across the city. With a plan of revenge, he forced the inmates to assist in the machine's construction.
After sending a series of Slayers after Spider-Man, and all of their inevitable destruction with assistance from others including Scorpion and the Black Cat, Alistair lured Spider-Man to his residence for one final battle. In order to defeat Spider-Man on his own, Alistair enhanced himself by encasing his entire body in a bioorganic carapace that not only served as a full body armor, but increased his strength and gave him the ability to walk again by interconnecting with his spine. The physical structure of the carapace gave Alistair bird-like talons for feet, a long, curved, blade-like weapon jutting from each shoulder, a pair of smaller, jagged-bladed weapons on each forearm, and a specially made web shooter that fires from the forearm area.
Eventually, Spider-Man defeated Alistair and made sure he'd been taken to custody, as well as the other asylum inmates who survived the ordeal. During Scarlet Spider's brief stint as sole web-slinger in NYC, Smythe, still carapaced as the Ultimate Spider Slayer, started a war utilizing a new set of Slayers he intended to sell on the black market. These Cyber Slayers, which could be controlled remotely by turning one's thoughts into the Slayer's actions, were initially targeted at Lady Octopus and her crew.
The Scarlet Spider ended up in the middle of things and temporarily allied with the Cyber Slayers, a fact that did not go over well with Smythe. Smythe, no longer in his carapace, but with the ability to walk restored by his earlier use of it, found his way outside prison and sought revenge on both Spider-Man and J. Jonah Jameson for the death of his father. He coerced Jameson to alter the stories in the Daily Bugle, or else he'd kill Jameson's wife and son, John Jameson.
Once Spider-Man caught on to Smythe's trail, he followed it back to the Bugle, where Smythe assaulted him with recreated versions of every Spider Slayer ever sent after Spider-Man in the past, plus a pair of new creations. A miniature model designed to latch onto Spider-Man's face and penetrate his mind through use of radiation, and a larger six-armed model arguably stronger than any other created. While attached to Spider-Man's head, the miniature Spider Slayer psionically connected to Spidey's mind. Smythe gave Spider-Man the choice of either stopping them or preventing the six-armed Slayer from destroying Jameson.
Spider-Man eventually shut down all the Spider Slayers at the same time, but it was Jameson who beat Smythe to the verge of death with a baseball bat for threatening his family. Smythe made another return in which he used a poisonous spider he made and attacked John Jameson and caused him to end up in the hospital. Alistair Smythe returns with a new metallic body armor and is hunting down all of J. Jonah Jameson's friends and family.
He decides to seek out Matt Gargan for help, who is currently locked away in jail. Posing as a scientist, Smythe infiltrates the raft and makes off with Gargan. He then performs a cybernetic operation on him, turning him into a cyborg scorpion, and convinces him to join his crusade against Jameson.
At this point, Smythe has amassed a small army of cyborg minions, all of whom want revenge on Jameson. Smythe, Scorpion, and a new criminal named Fly Girl lead their army to attack the site of John Jameson's latest space mission, sabotaging the launch and holding John for ransom. Smythe's new plan was to kill all those close to Jameson, but not to kill Jameson himself, so Jameson could feel the same suffering that he did losing his father.
Smythe's actions get Jameson's wife, Dr. Marla Jameson, killed, as well as seemingly negating Spider-Man's spider sense, when a device Spider-Man designed to overload a link between Smythe's current Slayers also damaged his spider sense. J. Jonah Jameson plans to have the death penalty given to Alistair Smythe for what happened to Marla. Later, J.J. Jameson brings Alistair Smythe from Rikers Island to demand his help in resolving the spider flu plague, transforming ordinary citizens into Homo Arcanus.
Alistair Smythe laughed at the irony of how Jameson has gained spider powers. At the moment, Jameson transforms and seriously wounds Smythe by biting a chunk out of his neck. Despite his injuries, Alistair Smythe is seen alive and well as a prisoner in the raft.
Alistair Smythe is later a witness of the escape of Dr. Octopus and was denied to join up with him. Mayor J. Jonah Jameson calls in Superior Spider-Man to help oversee the execution of Alistair Smythe so that he would not escape. Superior Spider-Man confronts Smythe, who tries to taunt him by mentioning Marla Jameson's death, but Superior Spider-Man brushes him off.
Mayor Jameson, alongside Superior Spider-Man, his assistant Glory Grant, and bugle reporter Nora Jones, watch the procedure of Smythe's execution while he claims to be a better person. Just as Smythe's execution begins, a swarm of mini spider slayers attack the place, allowing Smythe to move freely. However, they are counteracted by Otto's spider bots. Smythe attempts to escape, but he finds out that Otto has prepared himself for every method of escape he may try, prompting Smythe to shift his plan to kill Spider-Man, for which he is also prepared.
The mini Spider Slayers enter the infirmary, where they surround Boomerang, Vulture, and Scorpion. Superior Spider-Man admits that the mini Slayers were clever, but inadvertently reveals that his countermeasures are being powered by the raft's power generators. Smythe takes the upper hand until he is narrowly shot down by Mayor Jameson, disguised as a raft guard.
Smythe manages to reach the raft's generators, destroying them to shut down the power in the entire island, allowing the lizard to escape.
Once Smythe tries to escape, Superior Spider-Man reminds him about the emergency generators. Smythe warns Superior Spider-Man that just like he does with his spider bots, he can see through his mini-slayers catching up on Mayor Jameson and the trapped civilians sending their location to the group. Scorpion rejects it at first, but is easily convinced once Smythe tells him that one of his targets is Mayor Jameson himself.
After Boomerang is defeated, Smythe warns Superior Spider-Man that he is still caught in a predicament, since Scorpion is heading to his personal vengeance against Jameson, and Vulture is ready to kill the group of civilians, so he must make a choice, only to be surprised when Superior Spider-Man replies that he will not follow any of them. Instead, Superior Spider-Man determined to complete his mission of slaying him. Superior Spider-Man succeeds in killing Smythe, but only physically. His corpse, with his mind intact, attacks the survivors, disarming the guards.
Superior Spider-Man tackles Smythe, and they fall into the shore below. Smythe attempts to transfer his mind into Superior Spider-Man and assumes his life. However, due to Superior Spider-Man having already done this, he has equipped his mask with armor plating. Before Alistair Smythe dies, the Superior Spider-Man taunts him that he already beat him to the mind transfer.
His body is presumably carried away. Dr. Octopus's conscience, in an Octobot, infiltrates New U technologies and finds that Jackal has obtained the body of Alistair Smythe. Jackal managed to make a clone of Alistair Smythe alongside his father, Spencer Smythe.
Alistair Smythe is a scientific genius specializing in robotics, cybernetics, and genetics. His most notable inventions are the Spider Slayers, robots built for the express purpose of capturing or killing Spider-Man. Though the creation and idea for these originally came from his father, Alistair has made advances and improvements on the originals, and current generations are extremely sophisticated and formidable.
The Slayers often operate in groups, and Alistair is tactically skilled in his deployment of them. Smythe invented a bioorganic carapace that serves as a full body armor. It gives him increased strength and the ability to walk again by interfacing with his spine. The carapace has bird-like talons for feet, a long, curved bladed weapon jutting from each shoulder, and smaller, jagged blades on each forearm. It also has web shooters that fires from the forearm area. While wearing his armor, Smythe has superhuman strength, durability, speed, and agility.